A single ship stops. The world feels it. This is the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. It is barely 20 miles wide. 12% of all global trade passes through this narrow passage every single year. But recently, the route has become a battlefield for maritime security. When threats emerge here, shipping companies do not just wait. They pivot. Instead of the Suez Canal, vessels now sail thousands of miles around the Cape of Good Hope. This detour adds weeks to the journey and burns millions in extra fuel. And that is where the ripple effect truly begins. From energy grids to your local supermarket, the cost of moving goods is rising. We are watching a localized conflict rewrite the rules of global logistics. And this is only the beginning of the story. Rerouting isn't just about extra miles. It is a fundamental disruption of the global shipping clock. A standard voyage from Asia to Europe through the Suez Canal takes about 20 days. Going around the Cape of Good Hope adds nearly 2 weeks to that timeline. That extra time means ships are stuck at sea, rather than turning around for the next load. Fuel consumption skyrockets when vessels increase speed to try and make up lost time. Companies are paying millions more per vessel in bunker fuel alone. But the real crisis is what happens when those ships finally reach port. Ships arrive in clusters, overwhelming terminals that were never designed for this surge. Containers pile up on docks because there aren't enough trucks to move them out. And when containers are stuck at one port, they are missing from another. This creates a vacuum in the supply chain, making the cost of shipping a single box soar. It is a domino effect. And the last piece to fall is the price on your shelf. Beyond consumer goods, there is a more urgent cargo moving through these waters. Food. Grain and fertilizer are the lifeblood of global agriculture, and they rely on these same maritime corridors. When a ship carrying perishable grain is delayed by weeks, the risk of spoilage rises exponentially. For fertilizer shipments, the timing is even more critical for seasonal planting cycles. If the fertilizer doesn't arrive on time, the harvest fails. It's that simple. The impact is not felt equally. It hits import-dependent nations in the global south the hardest. These countries lack the financial buffer to absorb skyrocketing food import costs. When the supply chain breaks, it is the most vulnerable populations who pay the price. This is a crisis of logistics, but it is also a crisis of human survival, and the situation is only becoming more complex. Energy markets are equally sensitive to these maritime tremors. Ships carrying oil and liquid natural gas are now labeled as high-risk assets. Insurance companies have responded by hiking war risk premiums to unprecedented levels. These costs are passed directly to the consumer, baked into every barrel of oil. Traders watch the Strait like a hawk, and every incident triggers a price spike. This is what analysts call a fear premium, a cost added simply because the future is uncertain. Even if a ship makes it through safely, the market reacts to the mere possibility of danger. This volatility makes long-term energy planning nearly impossible for developing nations. It turns the global energy market into a high-stakes gamble. And the question remains, how long can this level of volatility be sustained? To manage the risk, the world's navies have moved in. But traditional warships are struggling to counter asymmetric threats. Cheap, low-tech drones and small boats are forcing expensive military responses. The era of free market, unescorted shipping is being replaced by state-led convoys. It is a logistical bottleneck that turns commercial transit into a military operation. This creates a massive geopolitical tension between keeping seas open and ensuring national security. Nations are now balancing their economic interests against the risk of direct conflict. The open sea is no longer truly open, and this reality is reshaping global power dynamics. But what happens when the military can no longer secure the trade? The instability is forcing a fundamental rethink of where we make things. Companies are moving away from distant, vulnerable supply chains. This is the rise of nearshoring and friendshoring. By producing closer to the consumer, firms hope to insulate themselves from maritime shocks. But this efficiency comes at a permanent cost. Fragmented supply chains are inherently more expensive to maintain. Inflation is no longer a temporary spike, it is becoming a structural feature of our economy. Corporations are redesigning their logistics to survive in this more dangerous world. Resilience is now prioritized over the lowest possible price. But this shift is just one part of a larger transformation. The world is becoming smaller, but also more fragmented. We have moved past the era of efficiency-based global trade. Security is now the primary driver of every transaction. This shift isn't temporary. It's a structural change. Consumers must prepare for a new normal of higher prices. Essential goods are no longer shielded from maritime volatility. Maritime stability is now the single greatest driver of global inflation. When the seas are uncertain, the economy follows. That is the verdict of our modern, interconnected, and fragile world. We are all paying the price for the instability on the water. Thank you for watching.